I've been travelling to Africa now for over 25 years. My first safari was in the Chulu Hills south of Nairobi. And I remember we were driving along this wonderful plain in these very old Mark I, Mark II Land Rovers. And I saw my first giraffe galloping alongside the cars. It was a wonderful sight. I was very nervous before I went to Africa, thinking, oh God, there are going to be bugs and mosquitoes and it's not going to be easy to travel around. But once I'd been on safari, I got a different sort of bug. I just fell in love with Africa. And then a few years after that, I decided to actually go into organising safaris and holidays with my business colleague, Kate Theobald, hence the name Theobald Barber. And since we have been operating the safari business since 1992, I go to Africa 3 or 4 times a year to really check out each place, lodge, camp and destination to see whether they're going to suit the sort of safaris that we want to organise. And that is the fundamental thing about our holidays. We know the places we're sending people to, and we can ensure that we make the best use of the client's time. There is something extraordinary about landing on a remote bush strip, and you get out of a light aircraft and you just have that tangible smell of Africa all around you, and the dust is there in clouds, the animals are galloping away. It's a very difficult thing to describe, but it is what makes me love Africa so much. The main countries we cover in Africa are Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Namibia and Mozambique. The fantastic thing about African holidays is it's not just about seeing animals. So, for instance, you could walk along a beach for at least an hour and not see anyone else. We have such remote and wild beaches. You could then go inland for an hour or two by road and walk and trek in spectacular scenery, and then end up in a gorgeous small hotel and eat, amazing food. You could be poled in a mokoro, which is a dugout canoe in the water channels of the Okavango Delta in Botswana, or be driven in a Land Rover across the Great Plains of the Serengeti. You might want to go trekking up a mountain such as Mount Kenya or Kilimanjaro or something in Uganda or Rwanda, or go and look at gorillas in Rwanda and Uganda, or perhaps go and listen to electrifying or indeed tragic tales about 19th century battles in KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. And then, of course, you could go on to Safari Land and see the big 5: lion, leopard, elephant, buffalo and rhino. So there is a huge variety of things that people can do on our holidays. We spend a lot of time thinking about the itineraries for clients and really planning them. And I like to think that we have a very good idea about how a holiday should fit together, the jigsaw, and how it should work, and logistics of getting you from place to place. And I think the fact that we have researched all the different destinations and how they link really does help to make a better holiday for you. We do have a few little hideaways up our sleeves that very few people know about, and we have got, for instance, some fantastic private houses on the beach or indeed in the bush that are generally not marketed to the wider public, and so we like to keep these little gems for our clients. I love hearing about the feedback when clients come back from their holiday, and they sort of take the fact they're going to see animals as read. But also, the thing that they really do rave about more often than not are the people who've looked after them. And I think that really does differentiate the sort of holidays that we organise compared to many other sort of holidays you go on in the world. People are just really pleased to see you, and they want to give you a fantastic time. And we have hosts and managers and guides who will be with you, 24/7 most of the time. You become friends with them. And often clients want to go back to the same lodge, or indeed follow guides that they've met and had a fantastic time with the next time they go back to Africa. Africa is a wonderfully romantic and evocative place. What could be better than walking out into the bush in the morning and then coming around a corner and finding a wonderful table laid out with your bush breakfast under an acacia tree, and you sip your cup of chai or coffee and look out across that amazing bush. Likewise, in the evening, you go on an evening sundowner walk, and you then clamber up a rock and look out, watching that sun go down. That is one of my favourite moments, sitting there with a lovely Tusker beer, just listening to Africa and watching the day end.